Right, we're gonna get everyone. How's everyone doing? Good? All right, we're gonna get everyone. How's everyone doing? Good?
Let me just click off
All right,
Facebook.
we're gonna get
Okay, sorry, now you won't hear the feedback.
okay, can I
You
should
can
I
go. Yes.
All right. Well, welcome everyone to our call. I'm just thrilled to have you here on this cold day. I hope you guys are, wherever you are, I hope you're warm and comfortable. We just got back from a trip. We just pulled in the driveway about an hour ago, and I expected it to be a little colder, so I'm pleasantly surprised. Anyway, I'm happy to be here. This month, we are going over a book called The Millionaire Mindset by T. Harv Eker. And we've been having a few speakers and sharing some of his wealth files, is what he calls them. And there's 17 of them. And by the way, if you don't know me, my name is Jeanette Vitruba. I'm calling in here from St. Louis. I know we have people calling in from a lot of different states, but I've been with the Juice Plus company for 23 years. And I'm just telling you, after this level up and just having a new CEO and having some new things happening, I'm just, oh my gosh, more excited than ever for 2024. So what I really like to start off with, though, is welcoming anybody that's new. So is there anyone that is new to the call? Please introduce your people or just step up yourself. Last week, I know we had a couple of new people. Okay. All right. So next thing I'm going to ask is for anybody to share just any good news. I can tell you that I sat next to someone in our little chapel church last Sunday, and she came over just this last week, a couple days later, and got started on Juice Plus. And I just love that. I just love just dripping on people, asking them questions. She's from Kentucky. Her name's Karen. And it's just exciting. She signed up herself and she signed up her adult 23-year-old son. And so that was like a huge win for me. And I love my little saying for the year, master the day. So who has got something to share? Just any good news at all? I love to hear other people's voices instead of just always mine.
I'll share. Allie can show what she just made this morning to everybody. Sorry, Em, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Good morning. I know, I was just thinking that. I was like, should I share that I just made my first loaf of sourdough bread this morning? I'm super, super excited about it. I was so nervous. I was like, I don't know if I could do it, but I did it. And let's see if I could see it.
Oh, yeah. It's a little, there we go. She looks beautiful. And she went to her first sourdough event last night, and she's going to host one too now. So that is good news.
Yeah, super excited.
That's awesome. Awesome. Okay, Emily, you want to share? Congratulations, Holly.
Sure. I just got done working out. So hello. I love that, Holly. I was actually going to say something about sourdough. I have been reaching out to customers who have either come to one of my workshops or want to come. And I'm actually just encouraging them to host their own. And I'm really excited. This past weekend at Level Up, which we're going to talk about today, one of the speakers talked about how you need to provide massive value at events. And I feel like that's just really why sourdough is such like a hit, because it provides so much value. It provides gut health. You're teaching people a lifelong skill. You're telling them about Juice Plus, and it's a ton of fun. So I am excited about 2 customers that they want to host their own. So
Congratulations. Oh, so exciting. I love it. Yeah, actually, when they were talking about massive value, that's also in the inviting process. Let people know what they're going to get out of it if they show up. So anyway, okay, well, we are going to move on unless there's anyone else. I don't want to cut anybody short. You feel brave and you want to share some good news, go ahead. Okay. All right. Okay. So we have been going over just lightly this book called The Millionaire Mindset. And really, it's about a blueprint of your money mindset. Like, what do you think about money? How do you manage money? How does money come into your life? How do you spend your money? And just your mindset of all around money, and who taught you that blueprint. So think about who might have taught you about money, learned about money from mostly your parents, right? That is the biggest influencer we have. And is that person that you learned about money from, is that the same path that you would like to follow? Or would you maybe like to do something a little different around money than whoever your main person was that were taught about money? Okay, so the Millionaire Mindset, he has 17 different wealth files. And I've been reading a few of them. I'm just going to jump around here a little bit. For example, wealth mindset number 5 is a rich mindset focuses on opportunities, but a poor mindset focuses on obstacles. A rich mindset thinks big, and a poor mindset thinks small. A rich mindset, this one meant a lot to me. A rich mindset, number 6, admires successful people and blesses successful people, where a poor mindset resents people and successful people. And I'm not saying I had huge resent for wealthy people, but what he says, it's not just being neutral about people that have success, and it can be success around anything. It doesn't have to be money. Just success in their business, or success in their relationships, or just success in their working out and their health. But if you bless that and you pay attention to admiring those people, that's more likely to come to you than building any kind of resentment or being neutral. So I thought that was really, really fascinating, is to appreciate and admire those people that have been successful in any of these areas. So today we're gonna have Tina West. She's a mom of one precious little boy. And Tina can tell you a little bit more about herself, but she's just an amazing leader on our team. She was on the leadership retreat with us. And Tina, I just would love for you to go ahead and share what in this book stands out to you. And I think you said it was mindset or wealth file number 14. So I'm going to let you jump in and take it away. We're thrilled to hear from you.
Thank you, Jeanette. Okay. Yes, I have been loving this book. So, yes, my name is Tina West, and I've been on our team and in our community for 9 years, going on 10, which seems crazy. It's been that long, but it's literally been the 9 best years ever. Just being able to be a part of this community, grow with this community. I am who I am today, honestly, because of a lot of the things that I've learned and been through alongside a lot of these people on this call, actually, but just with this community in general. So just know you're in the right place when you're on these calls. And yeah, this book has just been, I mean, I've read a lot of, money mindset books, or just things about being better with money in the past, but I really feel like this book has just really gotten a lot deeper into the mindset part of a lot of it. And the wealth file in this book that I chose to just touch on today, number 14, says rich people manage their money well, or rich mindsets manage their money well, and poor mindsets mismanage their money well. And I can say with my blueprint, the more I kind of dig into that, growing up, my parents did not manage their money well. They mismanaged their money pretty well. They did their best, but they didn't have anybody pouring into them or teaching them. So they just did the best they could. But we were definitely not well off, and I had to start working as soon as I could. I had to buy my own car. I had to do all of that myself, which in hindsight was a good thing. It taught me a lot. And I did become a really good saver with that. And I, kind of had a mindset of, I don't want that for myself. I want to be really good with money. I want to be able to afford things. And I would say at a young age and going into adulthood, I actually had a pretty good mindset around managing money. And then fast forward, I got married. I'm now divorced, but when I got married, I let the finances go the other direction to my spouse and just sort of gave up control in a way. And I stopped managing my money, or our money. And, wasn't looking at the bank account every day, wasn't doing any kind of habits to make sure like, money was going to the right places or had a budget or was saving well. And so one of the things I highlighted in this chapter says, wealthy people are not any smarter than poor people. They just have different and more supportive money habits. And I read that and I was like, that is so true. Like, if you're not looking at your bank account, if you're not budgeting, if you're not allocating certain things to certain accounts or looking ahead, how are you going to grow anything? How is it going to work for you? Right? Your money, how is your money going to work for you? And so, like I said, during my time of marriage, which is totally on my end, we're all responsible for our own actions. Looking back, I wish I would have had a better mindset around money in a marriage, actually, and not thinking that, oh, they'll deal with it. It's fine. I trust them. Like that, they have it under control when they weren't doing anything for their money mindset. So now, being divorced about a year now, this time last year, actually, I knew I needed to get better at money and managing it. Now that I have one income, well, a couple incomes, but it's just me. So I was like, okay, I have to get back into this. So this was so timely for me at this season in my life. And I have been able to really instill a lot of money habits. And I will say now, from my own experience, when I am checking my account every day, I am investing and learning more about money. And, not just, okay, how much do I have and where's it going, but the blueprint of it, like the mindset around it, what I'm thinking about it. And it does help so much. And my bank account looks so different now than it did a year ago. And one of the things that I've learned with managing money better is it does actually create more freedom. I think sometimes it can be scary to look at a budget because you might originally think, oh my gosh, but if I only have this much to spend on that, it's so restrictive. I feel like I don't have enough I don't want to know that I don't have enough to do what I want to do or get what I want to get. And the truth is, it's actually quite the opposite. Like, I feel so much more free knowing exactly what I have and that I've allocated it to exactly where it needs to go. So another thing I highlighted in this chapter was that managing money does not restrict your freedom. To the contrary, it promotes it. Managing your money allows you to eventually create financial freedom. And what I found with creating a budget and checking it monthly, daily, I have some left over every month. Where before I was spending beyond my means, where now the budget subconsciously has me spending below my means, and just keeps me more, in check with what am I actually spending this on? Is it important? Is it going towards the life I'm trying to create? And things that I thought I couldn't afford, like the groceries, for example, like eating really good brands and eating healthier, which, let's be honest, so many people say it's so expensive to eat healthy. And actually, now that I've budgeted a grocery budget, I can go to Costco and spend $200 on the best foods and I don't even blink. Because I budgeted that, and I have the freedom to spend that because I budgeted and manage my money for my grocery budget. So that's just kind of an example of that freedom where I'm not stressed out about, oh, I have to get generic brands and I have to buy, only this much of this. Like, it's very freeing when you've created that habit of budgeting and allocating that money to where it needs to go. So I loved that. And then another point that's really good in this chapter was one of the wealth principles says, until you show you can handle what you've got, you won't get any more. And how true is that, right? If we can't understand, how we want to use our money now and where it's going, we're gonna have just enough to get by. Where again, once you start knowing where everything's going, what you're gonna do with it, the goals you have for yourself, you're gonna start saving more. You're gonna have some left over. And you're going to be able to then put that in other places or carry it over to something else. And I just think that's so insightful. Just, what you focus on grows, right? So when you focus on your finances and your money and the mindset around money, you're going to get more. It's going to come to you. And then the other thing I loved was that we are creatures of habit, and therefore the habit of managing your money is more important than the amount. Because once again, it could be scary to look at that bank account, to look at that paycheck, or to, figure out, okay, how am I going to create more? How am I going to allocate this? But you just have to do it. And the habit of checking that and plugging it into whatever system you're using, it's going to get easier. And then you're going to find that you're creating more for yourself. Let's see. And then the other thing in this chapter that was really neat was just that managing money is one of the secrets to managing money is also just creating balance. So of course you want to focus on the growth of your money, the saving and just being smarter with it, but you also have to have fun. So make sure that you're using money to create fun in your life, enjoy in your life, so that you're having equal amounts of focus and discipline and fun and enjoyment with what you're making and what you're saving money for. So, this last thing I highlighted says, the fact is, if you manage your money following these habits, you can become financially free on a relatively small income. So that's the other thing. You don't have to start with a ton of money or say, when I have a ton of money, then I'll start saving and I'll start budgeting. And it doesn't work that way. You have to start doing that first in order to create more money and to have more money and to grow your money. I think there's a lot of things in life where you try to start backwards, where it's when then I will. Where really it starts with those habits first and creating systems and habits. And then you will have that. So, I'm a big believer in daily habits. And I'm so grateful that I actually got the opportunity to start managing my finances again and getting back into a good rhythm. And this book is really just really, really helpful with that mindset. So I think that's all I got.
Okay, Tina, that was so unbelievable. I loved it. And I love the fact that a year ago, your bank account looks different. Are you able to save and put some away and maybe start investing now?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm at a point where I'm finishing building up a emergency fund, or not emergency fund, but kind of an emergency fund, for 6 months of expenses. I'm kind of in about halfway point with that. And then now I'm learning more about investing, which that even sounds crazy to say because I used to never even think about investing. So
yeah, how exciting is that? And then I have just two comments I was going to say about food. And since that's kind of the field we're in, right? Healthy food. And I don't know if I heard someone say this or if it just came to me, but when you eat processed food, you think it's cheap, right? Or whatever, packaged processed food, you think it's cheap, but you really pay for it a couple times over. Because in my mind, I pay for it right at the store or wherever I'm buying it. 2, I pay for it because I feel guilty that I ate it. Then 3, I usually pay for it because I don't feel great. And then 4, eventually, you probably, if you keep doing that, you wind up paying to go to see the doctor or going to get medicine or something that you have to pay for again. So you're really paying for cheap food over and over and over again. I know we were traveling yesterday and today, and when we would stop at a gas station, what people spend money on, oh my gosh, the food and the junk and the prices are just incredible. I walk in, I use the bathroom, I get a bottle of water, and I'm out. But there are people just lined up spending money on junk, which is going to make them sick and whatever. So Tina, I love that you're like, I'm figuring this out. I'm going to Costco. I'm getting good stuff, and I think these are things, not only can you teach your son about healthy eating, but healthy finances. And
Mhm.
I'm so proud of you that I can't even like believe that. I wish I knew what you know when I was your age. And that is my biggest hope, to pay forward with health, finances, time. Anything that I wish I'd have known way back when, I feel like it's so important to impact the next generation. So let's give it up for Tina.
Thank you. Happy to share.
That was excellent. Excellent. Okay, so now the other thing I was going to comment on is there is some Netflix movie that I watched like last week or the week before, and it's a documentary about finances, and it's 4 different situations, and then what these 4 different financial people, how they helped the particular person they were working with. And I'm just gonna, I don't know the name of it right offhand, but I'm just gonna recommend that if this is something that interests you, that you would love to make some changes and some tweaks, not only does this book help, but this documentary is amazing. And there's a lot out there that you can tap into and learn about investing and saving, and even just making better choices when you walk into, let's say, a CVS. You're like, just don't grab that magazine that you really don't need, right? So anyway, okay, Tina, you were amazing. Thank you so much. And I love it that you're just being vulnerable and telling us just like it is. So excellent job. Okay, so this last weekend, we had a virtual Level Up conference, and some of you were on. And there was so many great trainers. It was short and sweet, but man, was it good. And Dr. Mitra Ray just had an incredible short, like 15 to 20-minute segment where she talked about what Juice Plus does in the body after 2 hours, after 2 days, after 2 weeks, after 2 months, after 8 months, after, it was just phenomenal. So I can't wait to get that recording. We don't have it yet, but we were promised that we would get that, because that is going to be, I think, a game changer to show our customers and prospects. And then later on in the call, to close it, I'm going to let Emily Otten, come on and share the golden nuggets that she got from the final speaker. And Emily, thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to share really quick before I go put Olivia down. I loved the entire Level Up event. It was seemed short and concise, and just kind of reminded me, the closing speaker, Linda Evenden, is a PMD plus. She's in Australia. And it was kind of funny because it lined up with a lot of the things that our very own Jess Stenzel shared on our $500 mastermind group last week. And she talked about, and I want you guys, I'm going to I don't want to like try and mimic everything she said, but I'm going to kind of bring you guys along with how she started off. Her best friend had shared the business with her for years and years and years. She was over in Australia. Her best friend was here in the States. And when she finally joined, it was because her friend, who was Lauren Lahav, said, Linda had all these reasons why she couldn't do the business, shouldn't do the business, can't do the business. And Lauren just listened to her and she said, I hear all of those things. I hear why you can't. But what if you could? And she said, what if you could put the pen in your hand? And so it just kind of reminded me, throughout my journey of being a Juice Plus partner, I've had to get better at not listening to people's no's, but then not buying into their no, not buying into their story, because so many of us can relate to our upline or whoever sponsored us. They had that vision for us before we really had it for ourselves. Like, they believed in us before we believed in ourselves. And so I just loved that Lauren just, kind of helped her say, like, but what if you could put the pen in your hand? So anyways, that was a little bit of her story. And then she had us all rate our business on a scale of 1 to 10. Right now, where is our business? What would you rate it? And then she said, what would you like it to be on a scale of 1 to 10? She said, be realistic. If you're in a season where you can't be, all out, be realistic on that new number. And so she just talked about your old story versus your new story, and the reality of where we want it to be. And she said, what is your current story of why you're currently
where you're at, and why isn't your business where you want it to be? And she just said, she just brought us through kind of an exercise of writing down like our new story, writing down just kind of in present tense of like, I am a 39 club. I am earning $500 a month, whatever that is. Obviously those two don't line up, but whatever your future business is that you're working towards, and your lifestyle and your family, and what does your everyday look like? She said, write it down and add to it every single day, because when you add to it, you can help it come to life. And then let me pull up this last note that I have here. She said, what will happen to your business if you read this every single day, which also Jess Stenzel talks about, like having that visualization time every single morning, even if it's just for a couple minutes. Linda said, every single time you read it, you get to convince yourself that that is your new story. So my notes are a little bit off here. I don't know how it got mixed up, but she said, our brains don't know the difference of fiction and reality. So you get to kind of rewrite your own story. And this new story is a gift to you. And this new business story can deliver every single one of your dreams if you believe it. And so she just said her marching orders were identifying your old story, writing down your new story, and then her marching order was going and putting at least one event on the calendar. And also there was one other part that I wanted to read that I said yesterday to you guys. It was just talking about how we have to, the reason that we have to repeat this every single day, which story feels better to you? We always get to decide. She said, we have to guard our hearts and guard our minds, because it's so easy to let doubt and fear and failure creep in. We all have that, no matter what level we're at. We all have that. So we have to add to our story every single day. And this conditions and requires your brain to attract the best every day. And this protects that beautiful story, she said. So being laser focused on that story, and it's like a new routine. It's not going to feel comfortable at first, which also Jess mentioned. Read it every single day. And when you stay connected to that truth, it will eventually set you free. And then she just said, what are you willing to do to move from that first number that you rated your business to that second number? And what are you willing not to do? What boundaries do you need to set? Maybe you're not willing to get burnt out this time. Maybe you're not willing to quit, like you maybe threw in the towel. It's so much easier to stay consistent than to stop and start over again, So I just thought that was so amazing. And though I feel like I heard it through our very own Jess, which is just such a gift. So that was an awesome and very powerful way to end the Level Up weekend. It was a great weekend. So that's what I have to share.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you so much. And, there's nothing new under the sun. These are the same principles and the same things that I learned 23 years ago. But we have got to share them and keep talking about them, because that is what's going to make a difference in our lives, but also in the lives of our team and our new people. So I just thank you, Emily, so much. And Tina, again, that was so impressive. I love the way that you shared and you prepared for that. Thank you so much. We do have an awesome call tonight. It's the Hey Mama call. And then for those of you in and around St. Louis, we have an incredible regional this weekend. We have Friday night with, Dr. Jen Williams is going to share her story, but we do have someone coming from out of town, and she's coming all the way from Texas, Oregon. She has a house in both, but Terry Luongo has been with the Juice Plus company, I think, for over 30 years, and her topic is aging backwards. That's Friday night. So I would invite and get anybody you can to that event. And then, of course, on Saturday, it's not too late to sign up. We have our St. Louis regional from, I think it's like 9 to 3, 9 to 2.
9 to 2. Yeah.
9 to 2. 9 to 2.
And real quick, some people have just been asking me, what is Friday night about when you're inviting into it? So she's going to share all sorts of education around really trying to live as clean as possible and how we can influence our biological age with our lifestyle. So obviously there's going to be so much value add and education. Of course, Juice Plus will be shared, but that will just be one piece of a larger talk. And then Dr. Jen Williams' story is going to cap it all off. So it's going to be amazing.
Nice. And Julie, Muse is the one that is in charge of our regionals. So thank you for the hours and hours and hours that you have spent, and just all your concerns and detail. I know it's gonna turn out amazing. Okay, so next week we do have a special speaker next week on our Tuesday call, so you won't want to miss. Get your team members on there. We are having Dr. Rachel Smart, who is a friend of many of ours. She's a national marketing director, and she's also some sort of naturopathic, holistic doctor. But her story is going to be great. Emily, you want to share what she's going to talk about real quick? Okay, Emily's busy. All right, so Emily's going to make a little flyer for next Tuesday. You guys want to be on. And I just thank you for being here. And yeah, just unmute yourself and thank Tina, because I know it's not easy to share your story and be vulnerable and also turn it into an excellent training. So let's all unmute ourselves, and thank Tina.
Thank you, Tina.
That was
so
amazing, Tina.
much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Tina.
Loved it. Thank you.
It was
Thank you,
Thank
Tina.
you.
It was great. Appreciate it.
all right. Everybody stay warm. I love you. I'm crazy about you all. And let's go change the world one person at a time. All right.
Woohoo.
Bye-bye, everyone.